So what did your father do over there then?
When he came to Pakistan, he was working for Quaid-e-Azam.
He was working for Quaid-e-Azam. What did he do?
He was his, I think, public relations officer or something.
Oh wow! So he had an interaction with Quaid-e-Azam like often, or
When he was always with Quaid-e-Azam.
Wow.
Actually, he was in Ziyarat in Quetta at the deathbed of Quaid-e-Azam.
बताएं कि पार्टीशन के टाइम क्या उम्र थी आपकी?
12 साल, I was 12 years old.
And what do you remember at that time? What was happening?
Basically, we were involved with this Second World War. We will get information from that planes may be flying, enemy planes may be flying overhead to go to Burma, and you have to have complete dark, no windows, no light should show up so that they don't know there is a population down here.
I see.
So that's what we're doing, and we were also listening to radio, but we were not allowed to have radios. So we had a transistor radio that we would kind of, hover around. My dad especially would listen to those.
I see.
He was more involved because he was he worked for the Viceroy of India.
Oh, I see.
And so he was in the Viceroy house and was quite involved in those things. And then he was also kind of a pretty enterprising person. So what he did a while back, he brought two of his younger brothers from Kalyanpur
I see.
to Delhi.
Uh-huh.
And one was Uncle Rashid. He went to Tibia College in Delhi to complete his Unani medicine degree, and the other was Uncle Khalik. He came over, and then there was another relative, Uncle Hamid.
Mm-hmm.
They brought them over, and my dad, he was always tinkering around with things, making face creams and nail polishes,
Mm-hmm.
and brow soap for shining the copper things.
I see.
And so my dad made a shoe polish, and they named it the Tota, like a parrot brat.
Uh-huh.
And they were getting the raw material from Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing pretty good. It was a good competition for a kiwi, which we all know, and they were doing pretty good, selling a lot. But then the Second World War, they couldn't get the supplies, so then that business kind of died out.
I see. So that's for about your father's business, and
Yeah.
what were you doing during probably the World War II time? What happened when you heard about the part that Pakistan and India is going to establish? And
Yeah. Well, we were marching all over the place, Muslim League and all that stuff.
Oh really?
I was marching into the parades also,
Really?
and
And you were with your father?
Yeah, my dad was home, but as a student we were marching
Oh.
from the school. I was 12 years old, so maybe I was, 5th or 6th grade. I don't remember now the details, but we'll march, Muslim League and all that kind
I
of
see.
stuff and going on.
So that was imposed, like the school people used to say to the kids to just get along. And
The kids were on their own.
oh, the kids were on their own.
Yeah, and but basically, because of the business that my dad started,
Mm-hmm.
that is intertwined with us moving to Pakistan, because he, because of the raw material that he needed for his products, they were available in India but not available in Pakistan, he found out. So he opted to stay in India
Oh.
and not move to Pakistan. But luckily, my uncle Khalik, he was the private secretary to the Secretary of the Interior. I think confidential secretary to the Secretary of the Interior, and all papers of who is going to Pakistan were going through his desk. So when he saw that my dad has opted for India, he just got panicking. He said, "No, you're not staying here. You got to go to Pakistan."
So like they ask everyone who has a plan to stay in Pakistan or who wants to go to India, like how in offices, or what is, how does that
Yeah,
protocol
I think
works?
they had options.
They have options to do that.
And most everybody opted to go to Pakistan.
The Muslims, right?
Yeah, but people like my dad, who has business, especially with the Commissioner of Health, he was more sure that he can stay there.
I see.
But then Uncle Khalik knew what is coming, so he said, "No, you are going."
I see.
And so we left, I believe in September of some date, I don't remember now. But we didn't leave, like everybody else. The Viceroy House gave us a what you call the train
Tickets?
No, the compartment.
I see.
And so I think they used to call them the freedom trains or something like that.
I see.
And we had one compartment for the whole family.
I see.
My dad and my mom and everybody. So we came from Delhi, and basically at every station we were greeted, and there were food and all this kind of stuff until we reached Amritsar and Lahore and so forth. Train that left the day after we left, that train never made to Lahore because they stopped it at Satluj River, and everybody in that train was killed and dumped into the river.
But you are telling it's like everything is planned and you're getting the things what you wanted. Unlike what I have heard, that there was a chaos at that time and everybody was in rush and people were killing each other, they had
Yes.
weapons.
Yes.
So did you witness those?
Not much of it at all, because you see, because my father being working in the Viceroy House, the government people were given special transportation to go to Pakistan.
Okay.
So we ended up coming to Karachi, and my cousin Majid.
You ended up coming to Karachi from India.
From
so
India.
how did that transport work? Because I assume that there was no like planes or anything at that
No,
time. So how did you?
the same train came all the way from Delhi to Karachi.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and
That's where you settled in after your family?
We arrived there. My cousin Majid and his wife, who is my Khala Fahmida, they were in Karachi. They came to receive us at the station, and they wanted us to go with them to their home, stay there a couple of days till we find what kind of housing we're going to find. But my dad was adamant, no, we are not going to go any place unless we find our house.
In Karachi?
In Karachi. So
But wait a minute, tell me one thing. So is it like the train is taking people in patches, like one day, other day, or is it like everything is going to happen? Like, why do we have the 14th August as a partition official date? Were everybody migrating to Pakistan on that day, or was it happening before or after?
I think it was happening, but we left in September.
You left in September.
So the trains were kind of going
frequently during that time.
And not everybody had this kind of facilities that
people have because of your father's
and so
job.
we ended up, and when we arrived in Karachi, my dad talked to the people who were in charge of rehabilitating these people. They gave us a bus, and so my dad won't rest until he found a place.
I see.
So because he said, once we leave this unsettled, then we will end up in the administrative rigmarole, and we never know whether we find something.
I see.
So we went from various locations till we found a house.
You were those lucky people who did not have to suffer as compared to those other people who had a hard time. That's great. I see. So what did your father do over there then? Was he working for the same? No.
He was, when he came to Pakistan, he was working for Quaid-e-Azam.
He was working for Quaid-e-Azam. What did he do?
He was his, I think, public relations officer or something.
Oh wow! So he had an interaction with Quaid-e-Azam like often? Or
When he was always with Quaid-e-Azam.
Wow.
Actually, he was in Ziyarat in Quetta at the deathbed of Quaid-e-Azam. He was there when he
so
passed.
what's your father's name?
Riaz-ul-Haq.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abdul-Haq, I see.
Yeah. And so I think they made a video or something. Family has it somewhere. I don't know what happened to it.
So he has seen Quaid-e-Azam, work with Quaid-e-Azam very closely.
Very
at
closely,
that
yes.
time.
Yes,
That's-
very closely, yes. In Ziyarat, where Quaid-e-Azam passed away, like in
Yeah.
Quetta,
Yeah,
that's where he was with him
I see.
at that time.
I see.
And
Have you ever seen Quaid-e-Azam?
no. I saw Mountbatten and all those
Oh, really?
because he used to have a birthday party. I mean, his own birthday probably was celebrated in the Basra house in Delhi, and he would invite the children of all the staff.
I see.
So I'll go with Shamim, and we will have.
Shamim is your?
Is my sister, younger
I see.
sister,
I see.
and so we at that time we were just two of us,
I see.
and so we'll go to Basra house and wander through his gardens and
Wow.
gather tangerine. That's what happened. We eventually ended up in Karachi.
In Karachi, I see.
And I was 12 years old, and there was no school. I think took us maybe 3-4 months before the schools open or something like that. And then
And settling in completely from
Yeah.
scratch. So you found a place which is given from your father's,
Yeah.
workplace. So it had all the stuff inside it. You have to, get everything.
I think we had to get some things
I see.
because it was
Or the people who has left that places have probably
no.
left the stuff there.
It was used to be military barracks,
I see.
which were converted to housing for the people.
I see.
And this was Abyssinia line in Karachi, and so that's where we ended up having a house.
Oh, I see.
And
Wonderful.
yeah, after I finished my high school, then came the question of going to college. And my dad said, well, I've been trying to save money to send you to college, and I haven't been very successful with all the household expenses and the new house and all that. And I told my dad, don't worry about it. I'll find a job and we'll go to school.
I see.
And I found a job
That's nice.
in the Public Works Department,
I see.
and like a LDC they used to call, Lower Division Clerk.
I see.
My salary was 97 rupees minus 2 annas, which was the stamp you have to put on when you get your, so. And I worked there for a while, and the people in the place was pretty nice. My dad knew some of those people too. My dad had a pretty good circle of acquaintances from the village. Actually, there used to be a person by the name of Shefta.
Mm-hmm.
He was from the same area, like Jalandhar area or something, and he was the one who was the like a vehicle. When somebody needs a job, he will find a job for them.
I see.
I don't know what financial arrangement they had, but you could become a peon if you are not educated, or you could become.
So tell me about little bit more about the leader Quaid-e-Azam at that time. So how do people look upon him? Like, people do fantasize him, idealize him, consider him really good as a leader, or what do people talk about him like an ordinary nation?
I think they were pretty impressed. There used to be always talking about that he drinks a little bit.
Okay.
So that was probably, whether it was true or not, but
Yeah.
But he was dressed more like in the British clothes.
Right.
He never wore sherwani or something
Yeah,
like
it's
this.
always
Was
very
all-
formal clothes.
Yeah, formal clothes, and but I think he was the one who instigated that the Pakistan be formed.
Right.
The Gandhi wanted to have united India. And Qadi Azam wanted to see that the areas which are more Muslim should go to Pakistan and vice versa. And that's what he did. And
so what do you see now? Definitely, I mean, we feel that we got a country. What is your opinion about that? Do you think that was the right decision, or one nation with Muslims as well as Hindus?
I think at that time, and even in retrospect, I think that was the best decision, really.
Sure.
Because at the rate there was atrocities going on against each other, for safety, at least you could go someplace.
Oh, really?
Okay, so people just left their homes, and both ways they migrated to India or to Pakistan and so forth. If they would have stayed together, at the rate there was atrocities against each other, probably there would have been mass massacre type thing there.
Oh, I see.
That was avoided by having these two countries.
I see.
Okay, and people somehow managed to move. I don't know how my family moved from Kalyanpur, the village where we used to be. Whatever your nani was figuring out, that was pretty true. That's all they did. My grandfather, from my father's side, he was the postmaster for the village.
I see.
So we had a building. The right side of the building was the post office, and the left side of the building was where my uncle Rashid had his tibia, his Unani medicine practice.
I see.
And a postmaster is very trustworthy because people would send money, money orders that he has to then cash and go and deliver to their homes and all that. Plus, he was also imam of the mosque.
Oh.
And so he had a little hujra there with a little room where in the afternoon he could rest. And I remember going there, he used to have 4 or 5 handiyan with patache and khajura and all that. So for a kid, it was a, good thing to go there.
Sure.
Yeah. And they also say that there used to come some jinns over there too. And I don't know how true it is, but one time they tell me that he forgot to blow the candles or something, and so he told somebody who used to come to study there, I forgot to just blow the candles. So this person, rather than going to blow the candles from way far, he blew all the candles. Those kind of stuffs go on.
Yeah.
And there was some rain, and the crop was all going to be spoiled, and so his crop was all gathered up and saved, and so all kind of stuff.
I see.
Things go on, but
very interesting. So I think we'll finish here. It's very. I have seen that probably you have the most smooth transition from India, that area, to Pakistan, which I have not encountered, or people have not heard or listened about it. But you've been lucky, I think, because of your father working at Viceroy's office, which is great. So thank you very much for sharing this story. It was really nice talking to you about it.